Hello everybody, this is General Snivy and welcome to a special Banjo Kazooie live stream. If you're wondering where my quote-unquote timer is, aka live splits, well, I don't have the window open because this stream is going to be a bit different from some of my other ones that I've done with this game. And first off, I'm going to be playing the N64 version of the game this time around for one specific reason. And that reason is I am going to be showing you all how to set up the most popular speedrunning tactic that this game has to offer on I almost said PS4. No. It's on both Xbox as well as the original N64 on all versions. So, what glitch am I talking about? The glitch I'm talking about is known as Firey Furnace Moveset, aka FFM. And in order to set that up, you have to create a separate save file to set up the glitch for. My N64 cartridge doesn't have the glitch set up in place. Most people would set this up in File 2, but since File 2 has my primary save file from God knows when, I'm going to be doing this on Save File 1, and I will be using Save File 3 for speedrunning, if I get around to playing the N64 release of the game, which I may end up doing in the near future. Anywho, let's go ahead and get things started. So, here we go. Time to begin Banjo Kazooie and the FFM setup. And in order to set up FFM, you need to complete these worlds in a very specific way. And I'll mention what I mean when we get to Mumbo's Mountain. First off, N64 has several additional tricks that you can use and utilize that are not on Xbox. And one of those things I'm talking about is known as Termite Skip. A couple of days ago, I was having a bit of technical difficulties when it came to my Xbox One. For whatever reason, it was just simply not working at all. Like, if I... Oh, god damn it. Wow. That was horrendous. I can't believe that. I pull off bottle skip, and yet I jump off the frickin' bridge like a goddamn idiot. If this was a speedrun right now, I would definitely reset. Okay. I'm not normally this bad, trust me. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh my god. Can you actually get up the gosh daily dang mountain, please, for the love of God? And can you roll when I tell you to roll? Maybe the reason why I'm having such trouble here is because I'm just not used to using the N64 controller, and it's been quite a while since I've last used it. The last time I used an N64 controller was definitely when I was doing my Let's Play of Chameleon's West. Yeah, it's been that long. So, another trick that's also present in the N64 release and only the N64 release is the ability to skip most dialogue boxes just by simply pushing B, L, and R at the same exact time, or like very shortly, one after the other, in just a few button presses. You can skip most dialogue boxes this way, however you can't skip all of them. So, here we go. Welcome to Mumbo's Mountain. As you all know, Mumbo's Mountain is the level that you would typically go to first in any given speed run of this game ever, or just a casual run in general. So, how this is going to work, we're going to be doing things a bit strangely. And I'll be getting into that momentarily. Right now we have this fun thing. This, my friend, is Termite Skip. Okay, so how Termite Skip works is you have to jump from slope to slope while also putting your shadow onto the floor as you're doing your ascent. And you have to jump from platform to platform to make sure that you are able to get up here. However, this can only be done on N64 NTSC version 1.0 or PAL 1.0. This is not possible on NTSC version 1.1 or Xbox. The reason why... God damn it. The reason why it's not possible on version 1.1 or Xbox is because upon touching the slope, you immediately begin to slide. And I always... No. For whatever reason, I really have a lot of trouble doing Termite Skip. Well, granted, I did just learn this trick not too long ago, so it does make sense that, of course, I am struggling with it. So it is going to take me quite a while to be able to master Termite Skip on N64. And like I said, it's not possible to do that on Xbox. However, it is still possible to get that particular Jiggy when setting up an FFM save file on Xbox, as well as version 1.1 on NTSC. And that is, you do have to grab the Termite transformation from Mumbo here. Just grab the 5 Mumbo tokens and then you'll be good to go. There are 5 Mumbo tokens scattered throughout Mumbo's mountain, if that wasn't obvious. And we're going to grab as many collectibles as we possibly can, given our current situation. And of course, since I am playing on the original N64 version... Okay, that was a bit weird. There's also another trick that you could possibly perform to skip the Jiggy dance animation. It involves running into an enemy while grabbing the Jiggy at the same exact time. Doing that will skip the animation. But, for whatever reason, I just can't seem to nail it down. Alright, so here's how this is going to go down. We're going to collect as many things as we possibly can, normally. We're going to grab the Ground Pound move, as well as Talon Trot. However, there is one more move that is located here, known as Egg Shot. Otherwise, it's probably known as something else, actually. But we're not going to be grabbing that move. This is very important because when setting up FFM, you don't want to learn the egg move or any moves that involve using feathers. So that includes red feathers as well as gold feathers. And the reason why is because upon learning the move, you are given those eggs and feathers to start with. And they are a very, very precious resource. And so, though you can still use the FFM glitch and have those moves in hand, the thing is, since Bottles gives you eggs or feathers when you learn the move in the first place, it just takes an incredibly long time to gather the resources that you need in order to... Dang it. In order to be able to do the moves in the first place. Oh, wow. Okay. That's sweet. I nailed Chippy Skip. Probably because I jumped just before the trigger zone. And I did it when I'm not speedrunning. Fan-frickin-tastic. Okay, so, like I said, we're gonna avoid this molehill here. Instead, we're just gonna go ahead and proceed and hit this witch switch. This will spawn the Jiggy on top of the Mumbo Mountain entrance. And that is definitely something we can grab. That is something we can grab as Banjo Kazooie on NTSC 1.0 and 64. However, on the Xbox as well as version 1.1 of NTSC, you will have to use the termite transformation. So, by skipping the egg shot move, we are limited as far as what Jiggies we can grab in what worlds. And by the way, an FFM save file cannot be used to fully complete the game or just beat the game at all in general. So that is something to keep in mind, and I did not mean to wake his ass up. Dang it. Well, whatever. Like I said, we're not actually speedrunning the game today. We're actually setting up a foundation for future runs. So within this level, Mumbo's Mountain, I remember we're able to collect up to 9 Jiggies. And of course, we're able to grab all 100 notes. So that's pretty nice. At least we're able to complete the level roughly 99%. We just can't do the full 100 due to the fact that we're lacking the egg move. Okay, no, it's roughly 80%. I mean, 98%. Close enough. I wanted to try to see if I could nail that one Jiggy dance skip here. And it involves grabbing the Jiggy while it's still spawning in the air and jumping in the water, and then jumping right back out. Okay. Oh, come on, really? Bull RNG. Oh, how I love it. By the way, the extra empty honeycomb pieces that you can collect in the levels, as well as Spiral Mountain, are completely optional. And with that, we're basically done. We collected 8 out of 10 Jiggies, and that's really all we can grab here for this level. And since this is N64, the high note score system is in place. However, on Xbox, this is not the case, since you do get to keep the notes and take them with you. So, let's do this. Crap, wasn't high enough. Made it! That trick is not as hard as actual termite skip, but once again, in order to do this trick in particular, you do need to be playing on NTSC version 1.0 on N64. And that's basically all we can do for Mumbo's Mountain for now, or just in general, when setting up an FFM save file. So our next stop is going to be Treasure Trove Cove. Within that level in particular, you'll be able to learn the Shock Spring move as well as the Flight move, the one that allows you to fly and use red feathers. We're only going to be picking up one of the 2 moves, and if anyone's familiar with speedrunning Banjo Kazooie, you should know which one that is. And if not, or if you're new to speedrunning Banjo Kazooie, That move we're talking about here is the Shock Spring move. So, just like I've mentioned before, we're going to collect as many things as we possibly can within this level. We're not going to be able to collect everything here, unfortunately. But I will be able to collect a large number of items. And of course, collecting the Jinjos in this level are completely pointless. And since the whole high note score system is in play in N64, the Jinjos also reset whenever you die or leave the level. So the Jinjo Rescue Jiggy is out of our hands in this level, which is rather unfortunate. And we're only going to be able to collect so many notes in this level as well, just simply due to the fact that we're going to have a very limited moveset overall. Oh, come on. Really, game? You have to be that guy right now? By the way, since I am playing on N64, I am using a brand new converter box, and this was only made in like the past year. This is known as the Retro Tank. The Retro Tank is a cheaper alternative to the... what is it called again? The OSNC converter box, I guess? Well, it's a cheaper alternative to that, as well as the Framemeister, which is a very, very popular but also very expensive converter box. Basically what that does, what those boxes aim to do is convert a 240p video signal from retro consoles such as the Nintendo 64, Sony PlayStation, Sega Saturn, etc., and be able to properly upscale that particular footage and capture it via HDMI. And what this Retro Tank RK2 does, it does the same sort of thing as those two devices, though it doesn't have as many features as those devices, but it is definitely cheaper than either one of those things that I mentioned. The Framemeister, you can only import those from Japan, and heck, they're not even being made anymore. So they're becoming increasingly rare and are very expensive, like roughly $400+ if you're trying to bring it over here to the States. Because you have to pay for import fees, and you basically have to pay a conversion from yen to US dollars if you're importing from Japan to the United States. Otherwise, in other parts of the world, such as Europe and PAL regions, that would be like British pounds or something, or whatever currency they use in those regions. But yeah, Framemeister is very expensive, but it's definitely worth the money. And if you want to know what I mean, check out the YouTube channel My Life in Gaming, when they go quite in depth with some of these most popular options, including the Retro Tank itself. Okay, so as you can see, that little island that says I think shark food? Well, whatever, that's that island over there on the top left hand corner. That place is normally inaccessible on N64. However, if you enter a specific cheat code on the sandcastle floor of Treasure Trove Cove, then you will be granted access to that particular part of the island and be able to grab the Stop and Swap item that's inside. So yes, Stop and Swap is still a thing, except in N64, it's just a lot more, it's a bit more complicated, because you have to essentially know the codes to enter on the sandcastle floor in order to gain access to those places. And those codes are very specific. However, if you do Google search on the cheat codes for Banjo Kazooie that you can enter on the Sandcastle floor in Treasure Trove's Cove, then you'll be able to gain access to all the stop and swap items. Just keep in mind, when entering cheats, the game categorizes what is a legal cheat and an illegal cheat. Legal cheats are cheats that give you an advantage, such as double egg capacity, double feathers, as well as, for whatever reason, on N64, the other legal cheats are ones that really give you an advantage, such as infinite air, infinite feathers, maximum Mumbo tokens, basically infinite everything. However, on Xbox, those are classified as illegal cheats, and if you enter the cheat, bottles will pop in and say, if you want to activate this cheat, you're going to give up the ability to post onto the leaderboards as well as saving progress. So, entering codes on Xbox is definitely not the most ideal thing in the world. The only cheats you are allowed to enter are those that are given to you via Cheeto. And in speedrunning, Cheeto is never found or used. And the reason why is because going for double eggs and feathers is completely unnecessary. It's the reason why nobody goes for it. That does make sense. So, essentially cheats are invalidated and are not allowed to be used in speedrunning unless you're going for a special kind of percentage. And there's percentage I'm talking about is known as Sandcastle percent. Sandcastle percent is a special category where you try to play through the game as fast as you possibly can while also utilizing certain cheat codes to give you an advantage, like a massive advantage, and be able to get through the game. The other illegal cheats that I have not mentioned yet are ones that allow you to progress further into the game a lot sooner than you were intended to. Those cheats are like being able to access all levels in one fell swoop, or bust down note doors. If you enter 2 of them, then and you try to enter a third, well then bottles will warn you that entering 3 of those illegal cheats that allow you to skip through the game, those will then Grunty will come in and say, you didn't listen to my warning, and so with that, your save data is now erased. She threatens to erase your all save data on the entire cartridge, or in the case of Xbox, I believe, all of your save files on the system. But in actuality, she only deletes the one file that was the offender. So your other save files are fine, but the one that entered those cheats are now completely erased. So be careful when entering those kinds of cheats. And as far as what speedrunners typically use in Sandcastle percent, I'm not too sure. I think they use the one that allows you access to all levels, and that's it. At least as far as I'm aware. Now that I think about it, since Xbox disables your ability to save progress, I feel like those skipping cheats in Sandcastle percent, Grunty can no longer delete your save data on Xbox. You just lose the ability to save. That's it. As well as posting leaderboards. I do find that kind of annoying. And the reason why I find that so annoying... The reason why I find it so annoying is because you, can't play through the game unless you do it all legitimately. the only time where it's really advisable to cheat your way through the game is after you've completed everything. In which case, have fun. Alright. There we go. There we go. That's done. Alright, and with that, I think that's all the Jiggies we can grab for this level. So we're only able to get up to 82 notes, 6 out of 10 Jiggies. That's really all we can grab, because the other Jiggies are the Jinjos, as well as a couple of other tasks. Oh wait, that's right, we can also grab a couple more notes that are on top of the sandcastle here, run into the mine for fun. Because why not, am I right? No. But yeah, we can grab a couple more notes that are up here on top of the sandcastle. It's not 100% necessary to grab these extra notes, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Given the fact that we're running with limited resources, we can't afford to miss too many notes. And in some future levels, where it'll really require us to use eggs and feathers, we won't be able to grab those Jiggies that require those items, simply due to the fact that we don't have access to those resources. So our total is now 91, as far as notes are concerned. And you may be thinking, why couldn't I grab the Jiggy in the sandcastle with the sandcastle flooded? Well, that's the reason. The sandcastle is flooded. And upon landing in the water, then the move is automatically canceled out and you splash right into the water. So, that is kind of lame. Oh, come on, really? Alright, our next stop is going to be Clanker's Cavern. However, Clanker's Cavern is probably going to be a level where we're not going to be spending too much time in, believe it or not. Because a lot of the... time that we're going to be spending in Clanker's Cavern, and really some of the tasks that are required of us to do, it requires us to use eggs and feathers, I'm pretty sure. I know one of them requires us to be able to fly, and in order to access the one hidden move, which is the gold feathers for the level, then that one we can't get to. Unless we have the flight move, which is fine. It's not like we're really going to need it anyway. At least for this particular instance. Alright. Let's head on into Clanker's Cavern, one of the most stressful levels in the entire game, especially on N64. Because of the whole high note score system, if you die at the wrong time, well then... Oh, come on, game, really? Strangely, I find it easier to be able to do that particular trick while playing on Xbox as opposed to N64. And I'm guessing the reason why is because it feels as though I can move faster on Xbox than I can on PlayStation. I mean, why did I say PlayStation? Jesus! You know I've been playing that console way too much if I'm confusing that and the Xbox One. Or Xbox 360, where the 360 version of the game originated. Okay. Now, as far as this is concerned, I'm going to be going at this at the safest way I possibly can. Because I feel like since I am playing on N64, if Clanker is risen up and then I end up dying in the level, I feel like I would then have to raise him right back up again. Then again, maybe it works just like Xbox does, where once you raise him, then he stays that way. I'm not too sure, but better to be safe than sorry. Just got a couple more things to grab. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, I missed something over here. Didn't even realize it. Until just now. God, that's the last thing I need to do is, miss something important. Great. Now we're in cutscene land. And I have no idea where the fish is going to end up spawning. So that's fan-frickin-tastic. And I'm running low on air, too. That makes things even worse. Come on, give me the bubble. Give me, thank you. Better to be safe than sorry. Especially when doing a FFM save file setup. Just saying, because of the lack of certain resources. And another thing, like I've mentioned before, all extra honeycombs that you can choose to grab are completely optional. You don't really need to grab them when setting up an FFM save file. You just don't. And really, it's unnecessary as well. Because once we have the setup complete, then it's best to have as little health as possible. And I'll be getting into the reason why momentarily. Or later on in the stream. Okay, so our next task, we're going to be going for a couple of Jiggies that are located underwater here. The reason why is getting inside of Clanker, normally we would shoot some eggs into one of its golden teeth, one of Clanker's golden teeth, bust it down, grab the Jiggy that's inside on top of one of the teeth, and then proceed inside. However, since we don't have the egg move whatsoever, we can't do that. So instead, there's only one other way we can get inside Clanker, and that is by means of the very top of Clanker himself. But of course, before I go inside Clanker, I want to collect as much stuff as I can on the outside of him. And we're only able to grab so many things here. Oh, really? There we go. That's better. Here's Jiggy number 2, believe it or not. Here. Come on, let's get up there. Thank you. Okay, we're done with this room. However, we still have a bit of a ways to go. A little bit, anyway. All we have left to do now is just to grab the rest of the items and collectibles that are outside of Clanker on the left and right hand side, respectively. And of course, grabbing the Jiggy on top of Clanker as well. Really, game? Really? You know what? Screw it. I know it's slower, but whatever. Since you're not working with me today, it's not like I have much of a choice. go. There's Jiggy number 3. Now, before we go for Jiggy number 5, we need to grab this one. Okay. We're almost done with the outside of Clanker. We just got a couple more things to grab out here, and then we'll be set. Alright, time for this one. Easy. Normally, when speedrunning, people would shoot some eggs into the cage in order to open it. However, you can bust it open very easily without the eggs. In order to bust the cage open without the eggs, you just run up to it and just do a rat-tap-rap on the door, and it'll bust open. Well, more or less it'll open up for you, no problem. Sure, you'll have to sit through an unnecessary animation, but that's okay. It's not like you really are worried about losing time because of that when setting up an FFM save file. Oh, right. Don't need to go down there. And the reason why I say that is because down that one pipe that I just busted open, down there is one of the 2 empty honeycomb pieces. You don't need to grab it. You don't need it when doing a FFM save file setup. I mean, you can choose to grab them if you want. It's entirely up to you. Alright, welcome to the inside of Clanker. In here we can hit the witch switch and get that Jiggy all set up and ready to go for when we need it. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. Don't you dare do this to me, game. Oh, thank God. That was too close. Phew. God, the last thing I needed to do was die. Okay. Now it's time to begin this challenge right over here. And this is the ring challenge. Now you may be wondering, since we can't fly over to the other platform where the Jiggy would spawn, how are we supposed to get it? Well, the answer to that question is a simple answer. We're going to be a little bit creative. We're going to do something a little bit different. If you remember before with the rat-tap-rap I used to get on top of one of the platforms here, well, we're going to do the same thing to get up here. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Done with that. Done with that challenge, no problem. Don't need to fly or waste any feathers. We don't need it. We don't need to move whatsoever. Alright, I'm going to grab these just for safety. Because down here we have a little tentacle monster, whatever the frick it is. And there's Jiggy number 8. And that's basically all the Jiggies we can possibly get in this level right now. The other 2 Jiggies require us to... one of them requires us to use feathers in order to reach a certain platform and get over to where we need to be. Oh, right, I also forgot, you can enter Clanker by entering his guilds as well. Though entering this way is not the most ideal way of entering him. By the way, there's also a few more notes we can pick up here before we leave. And I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it is possible to maybe be able to grab the Jiggy that's on top of this room here with a bit of clever platforming and manipulation of where you spawn in or slide into the room. I'm not 100% sure. It may be possible if you're fast enough, like as soon as you begin sliding in the room. I don't know. Then again, maybe it's not. Well, we haven't found any sort of trick like that as of yet, but I'm sure something like that is out there. Okay, where the hell is the exit? There it is. Okay. And with that, that's Clanker's Cavern. We're done. We're done with the level. That's basically everything we can grab in the level. Now you may be wondering, why is it that I didn't death warp when I was still inside Clanker, since I grabbed everything I could possibly grab? Well, the reason... oh, right. The reason why I didn't do it is because I just realized now there's also a couple more notes we can grab down here. And this will definitely help when it comes to getting further into the level. That's for sure. Alright. That's done. Gotten everything that we could possibly get right now. And our total is 92 notes and 8 out of 10 Jiggies. So, much like Treasure Trove Cove. Basically the same sort of total as before. Though not 100% completely. Alright. And that is Clanker's Cavern. We're done with that level. We've gotten everything we could possibly grab with our limited moveset. So our next stop is going to be Bubblegloop Swamp. Now, unlike some of the other levels that we've done up to this point, we can actually grab mostly everything within Bubblegloop Swamp. There are a couple of things of which we cannot grab, but we will be able to grab some other things instead. And since we are playing on N64, it may be possible to grab more things than I possibly realized. I don't know. I'm thinking about trying a new sort of trick. Well, it's not really new. It's more like something I just managed to catch my eye on in a YouTube video or something when looking up some other tricks. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, you may be wondering if you are primarily an Xbox player or if you only own the Xbox version of Banjo Kazooie. What about these people? What about those people? Well, the routing for setting up an FFM save file is very similar to that of N64. There are a few differences, primarily in the Jiggies of which you can grab. There are certain Jiggies that you can grab in N64, which you cannot get in Xbox. And I'll get into that when we get to that particular point. Right now, though, we need to head into Bubblegloop Swamp and get ready to open up Freezeezy Peak before we even enter the swamp. Trust me, we'll be able to open up the level without an issue. And getting over there shouldn't be a big problem. And even if we would die, which that would be unfortunate. Hit. There we go. No problem. And with that, Freezeezy Peak is now officially open. And we don't need to worry about glitching through the world in order to access the level. Which is something people can do to access the level early. But the trick is really complicated to do. And I don't have that kind of skill set to do it. Alright. Now, when it comes to Bubblegloop Swamp, the only Jiggy in which we will not be able to grab is going to be the one which you have to shoot eggs into the golden crocs that are scattered throughout Bubblegloop Swamp. We won't be able to grab that Jiggy, and the reason why is because we lack the move which allows us to shoot eggs. That should be pretty obvious. But, just to reiterate, just in case for new viewers, that's what it is. Okay, what the hell? Why was I not able to jump? Was it because of the frogs jumping that the... No, I think it was because I was running against the wall, and because of the lag as well. Because, yeah, I'm blaming it on the lag. That's really what it is. That's one thing I definitely like about Xbox over N64 is just due to the fact that it feels so much smoother on Xbox than it does on N64, which does make sense because of the more powerful hardware. Trying to mix in the simple assets of which the N64 version has. Just saying. And since lag is a pretty big deal that you have to deal with in the game, it makes certain parts of the game a little bit harder than it needs to be due to the fact that it's taking away your inputs. There you go. Now to grab you. That's the green Jinjo, which... yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that. That's better. Maybe slower, but it's safer. Alright, welcome to the Golden Frog Showdown, as I like to call it. Now this fight can normally be cheesed by the use of the gold feathers and the Wonder Wing. However, since we don't have that move, we have to do this legit, and it can be a pretty difficult task due to the erratic movement of the frogs. And due to the fact that they take 2 hits in order to take them out, it can be a bit time-consuming and difficult to take them out. But with good movement as well as proper execution, you should be able to get through it without the gold feathers, no problem. Alright, let's head on over to the huts. And before we head over, there's something I kind of want to try out. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. For whatever reason, it seems as though the Jinjo is tall enough for when I do the beak bomb or beak barge move, whatever the heck it is, the one that's the ground pound move, that one. Anyway, for whatever reason, the Jinjo is tall enough where his head is just touching the ceiling of where he's currently standing. And so, by doing the ground pound move, for whatever reason, if you do the move on top of him, you'll be able to grab him without having to use the crocodile transformation that's in this level. So, that's pretty neat. However, for whatever reason, despite being able to grab the Jinjo early in this level, you can't grab the other items that are underneath. That are underneath of these areas where the huts would normally sit. And the reason why you can't do that is just due to the fact that the items themselves are not tall enough to reach the underside of those things, those support beams. So that does kind of suck that you have to wait until you get the crocodile transformation. But you should still be able to get it without much of an issue. Granted, it is going to be cutting it kind of close with your turtles, but you'll be able to make it somehow. Trust me. Alright, only one Jinjo left, and that is the orange Jinjo? Yes. That's the one. Alright. Speaking of orange Jinjo, we're going to go ahead and pick him up right now, while also opening up the inside part of this turtle here. And the reason why we're doing this is so we can spawn the Jiggy that the turtle would normally spit out. And before we grab that Jiggy, we're going to grab the Jinjo one, while also having the boots on. And the reason why you want to do this is so you can skip the Jiggy dance animation. Though you still have to stand there while the Jinjo is still flying around for whatever reason. Okay. Alright, next task is the Tip-Top Flyer. Now this one I'm going to be needing to concentrate on. Blue, purple, light blue. Okay. That seems simple enough. Next. Yellow, purple, yellow, pink, and red. Alright, last one. Yellow, red, blue, purple, red, yellow, red. Okay. Let's see if I have this right. No, I don't. Crap. Yellow, red, blue, purple, red, yellow, red. Okay. There we we go. That's done. Bada bing, bada boom. Another easy Jiggy down. Well, debatably easy, just due to the fact that the orangey gods can easily screw you over big time. Okay. Okay. Alright. On to the next task. And this next task is another small timer challenge that we can very easily do. However, we still need to navigate our way through this little maze here in order to reach that... Oh, screw you! Stupid fly. Stupid dragonfly. Always being such a jerk fly. Being in the worst place at the worst time. Like, really? Come on, man. That's not fair. Alright, let's do this. I know that was not the fastest way of doing that particular challenge, but because of the way the camera works in the N64 release of the game, it changes positions like 45 degrees, much akin to Super Mario 64. Unlike Xbox, where the camera controls are way better. At least with Xbox, you can control the camera and control it in a very specific way. Most of the time. Alright. Now that we have the crocodile transformation, there's one more thing that we can do. There's one more thing that we can take care of in this level. And that other task we can do is the Mr. Vile minigame. And we can also pick up a few more notes while we're here. As well as another Mumbo token. Mumbo tokens are very important when setting up an FFM save file. Oh, pfft. With the dialogue skip, I can't really do that here. Otherwise, that cancels out the minigame. Alright, let's do this. Lucky Swan. That's not lucky. Oh, screw you, game. There we go. First round down, on to the next. Screw you! Wow, not very good spawns here. Ah, god damn it, I lost. I freaking lost. Motherfucker. Just bite me, please. Great. I only got one chance left. Only one chance. Oh my god. How did I get slowed down like that? Guess I made the right call there. Not there. Okay, where are you? Why are you not spawning? Right near me. Too close. Final round. Let's do this. Seriously? Come on! Stick around when I'm biting into you, you ass! God, you only stick around for Mr. Vile, but not me? Like, that's really fair, game. Especially right now. I'm gonna frickin' lose, aren't I? Yes, I'm gonna lose. Just because the spawns are horrendous. Bad frickin' RNG. Wow, I can't believe I managed to win. Holy crap. Phew. That was too close. I definitely did not want to lose that. Otherwise, I would have had no choice but to run, grab more health, and also waste even more frickin' time, and then have to restart the entire frickin' minigame. But hey, at least the good news is, despite me losing, at least I can still grab everything else that I need here. Mumbo tokens, plus the remaining notes that are right over here, and we can Death Warp too that much more quickly. And there we go. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. And that is Bubblegloop Swamp. That's everything that we can possibly grab there. 9 out of 10 Jiggies and all 100 notes, thankfully. And of course, he has to be here. Weird. He didn't damage me. Granted, I know I was in the middle of the transformation, but so, still nice to see that I wasn't completely murdered. Alright, time to grab this Jiggy right here. I said it's time to grab this Jiggy. That's right, gosh diddly dang here! Okay, game, what the hell? Why are you doing this to me? There we go. And if you try to grab that Jiggy without having to do the shock ground pound move first, for whatever reason, you will take damage despite you sliding. Once you reach the bottom, then you'll take damage and thus waste some serious time. So, with that, we're going to get ready for Freezeezy Peak, more or less the first trip, and also set things up to get Gobi's Valley ready to go. However, there is one more thing I can grab here, and this particular thing I'm going to grab can only be done on NTSC version 1.0, on N64, as well as PAL. And that is that Witch Switch Jiggy. Normally you would have to open up the sarcophagus in Gobi's Valley. However, for whatever reason, if you do a roll while landing on top of the sarcophagus, you'll be able to extend Banjo's hitbox and get inside the sarcophagus just a little bit and just far enough to reach the hitbox of the sarcophagus and the Jiggy that's inside, so you don't even need to hit the Witch Switch in Gobi's Valley whatsoever. Instead, you can just roll into it, and you'll be fine. You'll be able to get just barely inside enough to grab the Jiggy. However, for whatever reason, they shrunk the hitbox down just a little bit enough to make it so you can't glitch yourself inside of the sarcophagus or put your character model inside of it to grab the Jiggy that's inside. And that only applies on Xbox as well as version 1.1 of the game. So, in order to improvise and get whatever it is you need on Xbox, I'll get back to that after we have Freezeezy Peak. Now, when it comes to this level, I'm gonna be, since the whole high note score system is a thing, since the high note score system is a big thing going on here, we're gonna be doing something a bit weird. First off, we're gonna be grabbing this beak bomb move. This move is it's applied only for when you are flying in the air. And while you're flying, you'll be able to... What am I doing? You'll be able to barge into different objects and such. And the reason why I'm grabbing that move now is because the move itself will be very useful for later. Once we reach Gobi's Valley, then things are going to get really interesting. I'm not going to be grabbing too many things on this trip through Freezeezy Peak. And the reason why is because of the whole high note score system, there's not much of a point of grabbing as many things as I possibly can. I would normally do that on Xbox since the high note score system was abolished. But because it's still a thing here, then I can only do so much. And if I would come back later and finish up the level, then I would have to essentially start all over. That's the way it worked on N64 back in the day, and that's just the way it is. Though it doesn't hurt to collect a few notes along the way, and also a few Jiggies as well. But we're only going to be grabbing a couple of Jiggies here. The first one, really, is the one inside the smoke pipe on top of the snowman statue. The second one is going to be from fixing Boggy's little stomach problem by slamming into him with a sled. And there we go. Now the reason why I did things this way is so I can grab the 3 presents that are scattered in Freezeezy Peak and deliver them to Boggy's kids. I wanted to grab the Jiggy that is here, so that way I don't have to worry about doing that later. For when I do come back and clean the place up as much as I possibly can. And with that, we're done with our first trip. Next stop is Goby's Valley, folks. Next stop is Goby's Valley. And with that level, we're going to have to get a little bit creative with how we do things. But before we talk about those things, there is one other Jiggy that I am going to go ahead and talk about here. That, in order to gain access to it... One thing I'm kind of wondering is... with this Jiggy in particular... If you hit this... Okay. This is, a bit interesting. So despite not having the move to use flight pads and feathers, some flight pads can still be used within the game itself. This one is not necessarily one of those since we don't have the eggs move. But anyway, one Jiggy that you're supposed to get if you're playing this on Xbox or version 1.1 on NTSC on the N64 is... God damn it, not you. We're supposed to grab the Jiggy that would normally spawn from a witch switch in Mad Monster Mansion within this eye. And typically, in order to get that particular Jiggy, you would have to use the flight pad to fly to it, and you will also need to do a beat bomb into the eye to shatter the glass, and then grab the Jiggy. Seems simple enough. However, on Xbox, you're going to need to be extra creative in order to get that particular Jiggy. And when I was setting up my FFM save file on Xbox, I did not grab that Jiggy. And so, in order to improvise, I grabbed a few extra notes in some of the earlier worlds. And because of those extra notes I was able to grab, I was just barely able to open up the door necessary to access Firey Furnace Fun. And those extra notes are actually located here in Goby's Valley. With the other extra notes being located in Treasure Trove Cove, those are on top of the sandcastle as well as inside the sandcastle. So, with Goby's Valley, things are going to get a bit interesting. There are several Jiggies here that require us to be able to fly in order to get access to them. However, those Jiggies, we can still get them. We can still use flight pads within this level. I'll go over those flight pads when we get to them. Right now, we're going to be doing Goby Clip. Or at least I'll try to. Well, this isn't good. It appears that Goby Clip is not cooperating with me today. So, with Goby Clip, you have to do it in order to get inside of this pyramid or the Sphinx. You need to do that glitch in order to get inside the Sphinx and grab the extra notes that are inside. It is possible to do it on Xbox, and to be honest, I think it may be slightly easier to do it on Xbox than it is on N64 version 1.0. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Granted, it's also easier to perform the glitch on emulator than it is on the actual hardware, due to the imperfections of emulation. But, yeah. Not really gonna be worried about that so much right now. Right now, though, I would like to get a little bit of extra health. Okay, so... Dang it. Come on, get up there. Thank you. Right. I'm trying to grab a couple of more notes that are over here before I talk about this next thing, but apparently the game's being super finicky right now and it's just not letting me on this frickin' railing! Damn! Alright. Finally, goddamn. Anyway, this moat right here is a very special moat. And the reason why it's so special is due to the fact that there are 4 flight pads down there that you can technically use, believe it or not. There are several flight pads down there. There's 4 of them to be exact. You can use them regardless if you have the flying move or not. And this applies only to certain flight pads in the game. And that is these 4 down here, as well as a few in Mad Monster Mansion, and also the one in the final battle against Grunty. There we go. Now, once you fill up that moat with water, you will not be able to use those flight pads anymore. So, what I recommend that you do is use the flight pads while you can to complete these flying tasks, including busting down the target door, or hitting the target to open up the door in here, and also complete the one flying puzzle where you have to fly through the rings of the different statues that spawn around the level. And that's basically everything we can get in here. We can only grab a couple of notes, unfortunately, for whatever reason. So... okay. I did not mean to say for whatever reason. The reason why we're only able to grab so much is just simply due to the fact that we don't have access to eggs. We can't use eggs in any way, shape, or form when setting up an FFM save file. So we can't grab the Jiggy that's associated with that task. So that does kind of suck. Alright. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I will go ahead and use the flight pad down here once again. And now we're going to go ahead and get things started with this. If I don't crash and burn first. Jesus. Can't believe I did that stupid crap. Uh-oh. I definitely did not want to fly into the mountainside. Because if I did that, then I would unfortunately be forced to land. And that would be really, really bad. I definitely do not want to land when it's not necessary to do so. There we go. Task is complete. And there we are. That's only the first Jiggy of the level. But trust me, we'll be grabbing a couple more that are located within the level. One of those Jiggies is actually located where Goby the camel is currently being held captive. Once we set him free and send him on his merry way, and head towards Clanker, the dry palm tree, aka the trigger for Viagra jokes, we'll be able to get 2 more Jiggies out of that entire task. As well as an empty honeycomb piece if we choose to do so. But like I said, that's not really necessary. Alright, let's do this puzzle here. This puzzle can be a bit tricky to complete, especially if you have not memorized where all the items are. Plus the mummy can get in your way as well, which is really annoying. That's Kazooie. Thankfully, I remember where she is. That's Mumbo. Is Mumbo here? Yes. And there we go. Another task down. Also, don't forget to grab the 4 notes that are in here as well. And also the Mumbo token, too. Trust me, you definitely do not want to be short on Mumbo tokens. Because, like I said, they're very limited when it comes to this FFM setup in this particular playthrough. Now, normally I would not ride that carpet over here, but because I still need to do Goby Clip because I can't really enter the sphynx without shooting eggs. I need to make sure I have enough resources or enough health to make it inside without fear of dying at the wrong time. Of course, one thing you could do to help prevent or help ensure yourself that you collected everything else before dying, what you can do is just collect whatever it is you possibly can grab, and then you'll be good to go. Just one thing to remember is be sure to grab as many notes as you possibly can. Just another thing too, since I am playing this on N64 and I don't have that luxury of being able to keep everything I get on Xbox that I normally would be able to do so. Gotta remember, grab as many notes as I can in one life. There we go. Right, that's Jiggy number 4. Now, I believe within this level you can only grab like roughly 5 or 6 Jiggies. When, oh, seriously! Screw you! Stupid frickin' bug! I hate that crap so much. Now, if you would have extra health, you could just simply try to damage boost your way through collecting all of those notes that are down there without the need of grabbing these boots. But because of what I'm planning on doing with by means of the Goby Clip, I kind of need all the health I can possibly have. In other words, I need maximum health. Alright, now that I've finished everything that I can do with the moat, I'm going to go ahead and head inside this pyramid and drain the water that's inside. Also, do not forget this Mumbo token, that's very important. There we go. That's Jiggy number 5. We only have like maybe 1 or 2 more. Now that I think about it, I think it's just one. Just one more that we can grab, and then we'll have no choice but to leave. Since, once again, the other moves that require us to grab those corresponding Jiggies, we need eggs and feathers. We need eggs, and we also need to be able to fly on any flight pad. And not just the specific ones within certain situations. And as you can see here, this moat is completely filled now, so the flight pads are no longer usable. So if you're setting up an FFM save file, be sure to collect all the required items in the air and all the tasks that you need to complete with those flight pads before you fill up the moat. Because once it's filled, that's it. You won't be able to use you won't be able to fly anymore. And that's really, really bad if you happen to screw up. Because there's not exactly a lot of room for error. Alright. Alright. There's Jiggy number 6, I believe? Yeah, I believe it's number 6. Dang it. Okay, I have full health, so I should be okay to make it to the next part. Hopefully. Oh, come on, game. Why you gotta do that to me? Why is Goby Clip not cooperating with me? What the actual hell? Wow. Okay, that's definitely not fair. Okay. Well, before we try that again, of course I need to pick up some more health. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab the notes that are over here towards where Gobi is located. And instead of ground pounding him to make him spit out the empty honeycomb piece, we're instead just going to go ahead and leave him alone. Let him sit here in peace. Because grabbing that empty honeycomb piece is really not necessary. Though he is required for a future Jiggy and Click Clock Wood, it's not necessary because we won't be needing to go into Click Clock Wood for very long at all. We will only need to collect just a couple of notes that are inside the place. And it's as simple as that, really. I believe there's a honeycomb house just over here, right at the very start of the level. Let's try this again. There we go. Got inside. And I... Motherfucker! I clicked back and bounced! Damn it! All because I disoriented myself. I should have just left the camera alone. I should have just left it alone. This is why I hate the camera in this game on N64. Because of its limited camera angles and due to the fact that you're clipping inside of something that you're not supposed to, it gets stuck on the environment super easily. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. I can't do the trick. I can't do it. I only managed to clip inside once and then I walked back and bounced because I failed to touch the loading zone. Fan-frickin-tastic. This is really bad. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to perform FFM now. Because there are 5 notes that are located inside the place. Then again, I was able to perform... I'm only able to... Bleh. I don't even know what I'm saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is... Since I had to improvise by collecting a few extra notes on the Xbox, it is still possible that I can do this. And since I have extra options on N64 that I otherwise would not be able to have, seriously? Grab the thing, thank you. Jesus. It's not that hard, it's not rocket science. Okay. Right. Can't kill the mummies because you need gold feathers to do so. Alright. I think this is the best I'm gonna get. I only got 1 chance left and very little hits to work with. I'm gonna try it one more time, otherwise I'm just gonna have to move on. I don't have any other choice. Okay, here we go. I guess we're moving on. Because fuck this game. And not being able to do Goby Clip. What the hell? Why is it so inconsistent on N64 and yet I'm able to do it super easily on Xbox? The hell? Seriously, screw this game. Screw this game sometimes. So really, that's all we can do. We're gonna be 5 notes short for quite a while, which is really, really dumb. Okay. Well, that's lame. Thankfully, we still have enough to get through some of the other doors that we still need to get inside, as of yet. That includes this one here, and we'll be able to collect quite a large number of things in Mad Monster Mansion as well. It's just gonna be really, really stressful within that level due to the whole high note score system, especially when swimming in the well. Because in the well, you will be able to grab everything within the well. It's just really, really dangerous as the Baron Bird due to their large hitbox. And though it is still possible to do it on N64 as well as Xbox, it's way better to do it on Xbox due to the fact that you get to keep everything that you manage to get. So I guess one thing you can do to ensure yourself that you're not going to lose very much progress in the level is just simply go for the fountain first. Go for the well first. Go for that. Get everything that's in there, and then get out. And then concentrate on everything else that we can possibly grab. And the reason why you would want to do that is just to alleviate as much stress as you possibly can in the level. Due to the fact that Goby Clip is just simply not working for me right now, and I can't really get inside of the pyramid for whatever reason, there's nothing really I can do. Except just accept the loss and just move on. And also, I was just a complete utter idiot. And I don't think that it's possible to reset the camera behind you on once you're inside. Once you clip inside of the sphynx. And even if you would restart the level and try to do the clip again, there are still some things you will not be able to do. Such as being able to grab the notes that are located inside of the one pyramid where you have to hit the Kazooie target via flying. And if the mode is still filled, then unfortunately there's nothing really you can do except just again grab what you can. And unfortunately you won't be able to get a better note score than what I have right now. Though it could have always been improved if I managed to pull off Goby Clip proper. But I'm just an idiot. Alright. Now for this level, this is where we're gonna really be pressed for Mumbo tokens. And the reason why is because this next transformation for Mumbo requires 20 Mumbo tokens. Oh my god, get inside the well, damn it. Thank you. Alright, here we go. Just gonna be safe. There we go. There. I'm surprised I managed to pull off that entire well without taking a single hit. And Avast, of course, wants to pop up and say something about promoting its higher tiered antivirus packages. And that's not really something I really want to mess with or even do, because it's not necessary. Of course, there are a few more notes over there. Really, game? You really have to be that guy right now. Wow. Totally unfair. This is why I really hate having such limited health. You only can take like 5 hits maximum. Take a 6th and you're dead. Alright, now that the most stressful part is done, mostly, still gotta stay alive to be able to get everything else that's here. And you may be wondering, why did I bust that open right now? Well, the reason why is mostly for later. Okay, I believe that one just holds an empty honeycomb piece that is just not necessary for us. But this one here, you would find a Mumbo token, and this is also where one of the Jiggies are located. However, we need the pumpkin transformation in order to get that Jiggy. Because the pumpkin is small enough to be flushed down the toilet. I know it seems a bit strange, but that's what the game requires us to use. We need the pumpkin in order to be able to achieve greatness. There's also a few things here that we can go ahead and grab. That would be the yellow Jinjo, and also a couple of notes in here. Now, the most annoying part of this whole level is definitely going to be the green ghosts that constantly chase you around. And this is going to be especially apparent when we get to the church. The inside part of the church, that is. And the reason why is due to the fact that they're invincible unless you kill them via the Wonder Wing. And they're very, very annoying to deal with due to the fact that they will chase you down until the end of time. No, seriously, they will. Okay, I was wondering if I grabbed the Jinjo while I was there. Come on, get in the pipe. Thank you. Alright, let's do this. Hip. Alright. That's Jiggy number 2. Now, for whatever reason, we can use this flight pad within this house, though there's really no reason to use it. And the reason why is because the only thing you'll find in this house is just an extra life. And that's it. That's all you'll find, plus a couple more eggs you can pick up as well. But that's really not necessary. You don't need them. Alright, next up is not going to be the church. Not just yet. We still have the matter of going into the wine cellar. I hate those bats. Those bats can go die in a hole. They're some of the most annoying creatures on God's earth. Alright, we're up to 30 Mumbo tokens, which is way more than enough to be able to grab the next transformation. However, we also need to keep in mind, we still also need Mumbo tokens for the Walrus transformation back in Freezeezy Peak. No, seriously, that's what we need it for. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this now. I'm also gonna grab something else in this maze here. That would be you. The reason reason why I did that is so I can avoid the ghosts that are in this maze for as long as I possibly can. Within this maze, there's a few notes that we can pick up here. And I think that's it. That's really all there is in this maze. Just a couple of notes, and also the orange Jinjo. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to do much as far as the outside of the church is concerned. And the reason why is simple. Due to the fact that we can't use eggs, we have no means of filling up the pots. We can't fill the pots with the eggs and spawn flowers. Which does kind of suck, but oh well, that's something we kind of have to deal with when setting up FFM. Now, it is definitely possible to do this particular mission because you don't need eggs or feathers whatsoever. Just hop on here and do it like you normally would. Come on. Thank you. That's the wrong letter. Dang it! Stupid ghost! Hop on the thing! Thank you! God, it just seems like I always overshoot jumps when I'm trying to not undershoot it. Where is the K? Here it is. Oh, come on, game. Come on! Oh my god, that was too close. Another very stressful thing too is that health is very limited in a FFM setup run of any kind. Just saying. Just due to the fact that we won't have the extra health to work with at all, just makes things that much more stressful. Plus, given the fact that we still have to deal with the high note score system in N64, that makes things even better. Not! It's so freaking bad. It really is. Alright. Of course, before we head inside of the church, there's definitely a few things we can grab here. First off, are going to be a few notes that are on top of the church building itself, as well as the roof. And also a couple of Mumbo tokens as well that we can grab along the way. And there we go. Another Jiggy down. On to the next one. That's 6 out of 10. We're not quite done yet. We still have a little bit of a ways to go. Now, while I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of extra health, just for safety reasons. There's also another Mumbo token over here behind this gravestone. You can grab it if you want, just have that little extra bit of life insurance. But really, it's not necessary. But just to be on the safe side, if you are running low on health, you can take out some of the tombstones that are there. Alright, on to the next task, and that is getting inside of the church and completing the objectives that are inside. This should be simple enough. Done this many times over before, and I sure as hell can do it again. go. No problem. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky when we're inside of the church. There are 4 notes that are on top of these benches here where people would normally sit inside of a church to listen to the priest give out the speeches of the different passages of the Bible and everything. And also listening to the church organ. What? Organ! Organ! My God! I can't speak. Okay. So, the notes that are on top of the benches are going to be kind of tricky to get our hands on. And the reason for that is due to the fact that the 2 ghosts that are on both sides of the church are going to be super annoying to dodge and deal with. So what I had to do in order to collect those notes is I had to play a little game of dodge. Dodge the ghosts. Which, it was definitely not fun, let me tell you. It was definitely not fun to deal with, due to the fact that those suckers are really fast. And if you want to know how I did it and how I managed to get those notes without having to kill the ghosts, well, it's gonna be a bit dangerous and also a little tiny bit complicated. Not that complicated, still, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. It's also gonna be considered pretty dang slow, but it's not like we have much of a choice here. First off, I'm going to be completing this minigame here, so that way we can grab the Jiggy that's here, as well as whatever else is located on the very top of the organ. And those are the notes, as well as a few more feathers. There's also an extra life back here. For some reason I was thinking it was a Mumbo token. No. They're not giving those things out like candy, unfortunately, but oh well. Alright. Here comes the tricky part. Let's do this. So yeah, that's basically what you have to do. You have to fly to the benches and grab the notes before the ghost can catch you. Otherwise they will stick to you like glue and it's really difficult to get them off of you. And this is basically the slow and dirty way of doing things. If you're trying to do this in a speedrun setting without FFM or trying to set things up, you would still use a gold feather or 2 just to kill these frickin' ghosts that are here. And in the most ideal of situations, you want to be able to grab all 4 notes on the same flight. And that's the reason why the ghosts are annoying. Because of the fact that they stick to you like frickin' glue. And if they hit you in the air, well, you're more than guaranteed to fly into them over and over again. And even if you would, okay. Let's do something a little bit risky. I'm gonna go for it. And of course it didn't work. I wanted to try to make up for lost time, but though I did manage to get one of the notes I needed, it definitely came with a cost of a lot of health lost. So we're gonna have to... I'm definitely gonna grab this last note that's on the bench here by means of just simply flying to it, ground pounding on top of the note, and then jumping off of the bench. Just like I did with the first note. The reason why I'm doing it like that is so I can preserve as much health as I can. And of course, grabbing this note is not going to be easy. Okay, there we go. That takes care of all 4 notes there. So that's pretty nice. However, we still have the matter of the other things that are on top of this church building, or towards the ceiling of this place. There's the witch switch that we still have to press down. Well, then again, I think that witch switch just triggers the one Jiggy in which we cannot grab in this entire frickin' run. So hitting it is not the most necessary thing in the world. However, there is still other things that we can grab here. There's still the Mumbo token, and really that's about it. There's also the empty honeycomb piece, but like I said, it's not necessary to grab it. Oh my god, no! Oh my god, falling down there from that high up will kill you. And my god, that is definitely not something I wanted to do. Hence the freak out when I ended up jumping over the Mumbo token and nearly falling to my doom. Alright. Well, now that that little heart attack is basically done and over with, we have a couple more things to grab in here. I think. Anything up here? Just a gold feather, I believe. Yep, that was it. Okay, looks like we will still have enough Mumbo tokens to get the Walrus transformation, which I'm very thankful for. Because I was kind of worried I wouldn't have enough Mumbo tokens to get that transformation in particular. But, hey, just saying. Very glad to have it, nonetheless. Alright. We only have like 2 more tasks that we can complete right now. One of them is just hopping into the toilet and go for a little spin. And here we are. There's Jiggy number 8. And with that, we're done with the toilet. We're done with the toilet, and we don't have to speak of it ever again. Unless I continue speedrunning the game. In which case, there'll be plenty of time to talk about the toilet game. I feel like we could have collected a couple more notes. Question is, where were those notes? Are they located in the maze? I guess one thing I could do is just look up. Oh, there they are. That was easy enough. Alright, that's everything that we can grab here. At least we're able to collect all the notes in the level, which is nice. However, once again, we can only collect 8 out of 10 Jiggies that are located in the world. I think. Then again, maybe you can collect up to 9? I'm trying to remember what other Jiggy there is. Well, besides the flower pots, what else could be left? I can never remember these things, which really bothers me. Okay. Okay, cool. And with that, the entrance to Rusty Bucket Bay is now officially open. Well, almost. Though not completely. We just managed to raise the water level, and for whatever reason, though I am able to achieve being able to skip the introductory cutscene, for whatever reason, on N64, even if you have a fully completed save file, you still have to sit through this, since it's technically your first viewing of that particular cutscene. So that is kinda lame. I think most people, what they do is upon hitting that switch, that saves progress, and so they reset right there. But if you're playing on Xbox, of course the progress is still saved right there. However, it's actually faster to just exit out of the game, get the bad ending game over cutscene, skip that, return to the main menu, and reload your save file. That way, as opposed to returning to the dashboard and restarting the game. The reason why is because it takes additional time away to reload the game and all of its assets, and also resyncing your cloud data and everything else in between. But on N64, doesn't work that way. Apparently. But upon reloading our save data, we'll be able to re-enter the layer here, and also, normally in the speedrun I would go ahead and grab that Jiggy from the witch switch from way earlier in the game, but I decided to grab that earlier on in the run, or earlier on in the game, as opposed to waiting until now. And the reason why is so I can go ahead and move on. Alright. Now that that's done, pretty sure I can just go ahead and move on to Rusty Bucket Bay. In Rusty Bucket Bay, that level can be fully completed 100%, believe it or not. It is possible to grab all 10 Jiggies in that level, which is pretty nice to see. It's definitely the first level we were able to do that, believe it or not. Maybe in, dang it. Maybe in Mad Monster Mansion it would be possible to get all 10 Jiggies. I just can't remember what other tasks you need to get done besides the pots. I got the Jinjo one, so... Dang it, I can't believe I'm forgetting what else it is I had to do. Well, that's definitely not a good sign of things to come, that's for sure. Hopefully I won't run into any roadblocks just because of that memory block. Yeah, I'll probably figure it out over time anyway. And with that, we just barely have enough Jiggies to fill in the portrait to open up Rusty Bucket Bay. And now that I think about it, I really do feel like I need another Jiggy in order to be fully prepared to open up Click Clock Wood. Then again, maybe with the extra notes I collected, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how things turn out. But for right now, though... Screw you, you stupid goddamn Life preserver. My god. Alright, here we go. Time to begin the most stressful part of Rusty Bucket Bay. This god-awful room. The engine room. There are a couple of Mumbo tokens you can get on each side of this room here. However, I would not even bother with them, really. It's not necessary. Oh, right! There's also the second trip of Freezeezy Peak. That's right. Oh, well. I can still go there when I get this place done. Idiot! I was wondering, like, how am I so many Jiggies short? And yet I'm still able to open up the level. Okay. Alright, now it's time for the fun part. Hopefully I'll be able to do this. Excellent. That's the first man. Still got 2 more to go through. Damn it! Screw this goddamn level. Seriously, screw it. All the way to hell. This is why I wanted to do the engine room part as soon as I entered the damn stage. Because if I fall, that's it. I'm doing it all over again. And I also have to hit both fans, collect all the freaking collectibles that are down here, and also drop like a goddamn idiot. I should have just done the shock glitch to get down here more quickly, to be honest. That's exactly what I should have done. Maybe I should try a different trick instead. Crap. The other trick I'm talking about is damage boosting your way through the fan and try to get through as little as 1 to 2 hits. And also pray to God that you don't end up flying the wrong way. Because that's exactly what happened to me when I was trying to go through the second fan. Got to gun it. This as straight as I possibly can. Christ fucking mighty! I hate this fucking level. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Because I got freaking double tapped and flew in the wrong direction. Probably because I wasn't straight enough. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. This trick is considered obsolete just due to the extreme difficulty and precision that is required for this. And that is, if you position yourself at just the right way and hold forward, you'll be able to clip your way inside of the ship. Clip inside of it and be able to swim towards the one Jiggy, which I'm trying to get to by means of shutting down the fans. Of course, that has not been so kind to me today. Same with basically every single trick that I've tried to do, which I can do fairly well on Xbox, but not so well here, i.e. Goby Clip. And even on Xbox, it's still very inconsistent when it comes to being able to make your way through the fan. Plus, if I run out of lives, oh dear. It's another frickin' eternity I have to spend just to get back to Rusty Bucket Bay. Oh my god, that was too close. That was only the first fan. Still got one more. Oh god. Whew, definitely glad I managed to make it. So, alright. That's the hard part down. What am I doing? I need to do this as Banjo. Oh my god, are you serious? You're not letting me clip through here? Thank you. Holy shit. Is that really so freaking difficult to do? Alright. Now that that's done. Now that that's done, let's grab this Jiggy and never speak of it again. At least until I speedrun the game once more. Eventually. Alright. Earlier I was talking about a certain trick about clipping into the ship and making a way to the Jiggy which you need to shut down the fans. Well, the reason why that trick is considered obsolete is just due to the fact that the setup is extremely difficult to pull off for humans, and it's just not really viable either. Due to the fact that you can clip your way through the window within the engine room, you can just simply bypass the hardest part of the challenge, which is just crap. The hardest part of the challenge is just getting past the fans. Okay, that was weird. Dang TNT just blew itself up. Okay then, I'll gladly take it. Okay. So once you get past the 2 fans in the room and grab all the notes that are in there, then... Damn it. Come on! Die, damn it! I swear to God, if he killed me, I was going off. Okay. I really do not want to do the engine room again. But if I die, well then, I guess I would not have much of a choice. Now would I? No, since I'm playing N64. Alright. Here we go. Oh, screw you, game. Alright, I'm gonna try something. That didn't work. Alright, screw it. Alright, what I was trying to do there was, I was gonna try to lean Kazooie at like kind of a 45-degree angle and jump at the Jiggy that's located inside of that wooden cabin-like area. But since I couldn't quite get the angle right or get the right distance, well, unfortunately it didn't work. Which did kind of suck. But that's alright. That's not really that big of a deal, really. It really isn't. Alright, let's... Oh, god damn it. I always screw up the first digit. 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. I always think it's 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. There we go. Alright, the next task we're going to go ahead and do right now is we're going to make our way to the very top of the ship. Normally I would try to comb the outer perimeter of the place before heading up, or taking care of the tasks that are on the ship itself. And the reason why I do things like that is so I know that the outer perimeter is completely finished and cleared up before I try to take on the inner perimeter, aka the ship itself. Now then, you may be wondering, there are certain places that require a toll bridge to be paid in order to get access to those locations. Well, you can actually bypass most locations very easily with some clever maneuvering, clever jumps, and really, it's as simple as that. Just a few clever jumps and you'll be good. Oh, god damn it. Stupid camera. I'm surprised that even hit him. Okay. Alright, we're done with the kitchen. Kitchen area is finished. Alright. Didn't quite make it over there, but that's fine. That is basically how you're supposed to bypass those platforms. By simply jumping up them for like about a second and then do a high jump. It's as simple as that. It is a pretty difficult trick to nail, but once you're able to practice it and nail it, man, you're gonna save yourself a lot of angst and headaches during any speedrun of the game. It can also be useful in a casual setting as well. And the reason why it can be like that is so you can save your eggs for later for when you need them most. There is one toll which you really aren't necessarily able to bypass completely, but that's alright. You can get to where you need to without having to pay the toll anyway. So really, paying the toll is completely pointless on any location. I really don't like the position I'm in, considering the fact of what I have next to do. Raging Joe's, okay. Alright, next thing we're going to be doing is falling. And possibly going to die! Fuck me in the ass! Man! God fucking damn it! Now I have to do the engine room all goddamn over again. I knew I should have grabbed more health before entering that room. I just goddamn fucking knew it. Seriously, fuck this game. Alright. Well, since it's no longer necessary to hit the fans, or hit the fan switches to shut down the propellers... Oh my god, I can't believe this. Hang on. Did I seriously just break my glasses? Fuck me! Okay. I can't believe this. I really do feel like I just broke my glasses. Just in a fit of rage. Wow. Okay. Head back in. We'll try this again. One more time now. I am not this bad at Rusty Bucket Bay. I swear to God, I am not this bad. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna be doing this room in the least risky way I possibly can, and that is doing this the intended way. Or at least as much intended as possible. Actually, that's not gonna work. Crap. I don't have a choice. I gotta do this. Damn it. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost fell. Alright. Well, despite the fact that I have to collect everything all over again, at least the extra life respawns nicely. So, at least I have a little bit of life insurance when I get back in here. If I can manage to clip my way back through, please. It seems like this is only possible to clip through this room, or clip through this window, rather, while you're running as Banjo. Really. There is no other way. You basically have to collect one of the collectibles that are in front of the window in order to be able to clip through. But it seems like clipping through it is a bit inconsistent and kind of hit and miss. And it's not like I really need to hit the switch again anyway. I collected the Jiggy in the room, that's all that matters. Or I collected the Jiggy that is hidden behind the propellers, and of course I would fall in the goddamn water at the most inopportune time because of Buttershoes McGee! Nothing but rage this whole frickin' thing has been. This is why I tried to stay away from playing the N64 version of Banjo Kazooie. Too much more fucking stress is added, especially when it comes to this level. And runs really die when it comes to this level. Especially if you game over, you lose so much frickin' time, it's not even worth trying to salvage it. It really isn't. It's the reason why Xbox is so much better. Because you don't have to worry about the high note score bullshit. Sure, you miss out on a few pretty fast tricks, but you can use other ones to make up for lost time. And you can even do what is known as Reverse B Adventure on there too. That was recently discovered. I don't know how recent exactly, maybe... I don't even really know. I don't even know how soon RBA was discovered to be possible on both NTSC 1.0 and Xbox. I'm not so sure about 1.1. I'm not really sure if it's possible to do Reverse B Adventure on version 1.1 or not. But I do know it is possible to do it on Xbox, for sure. But since Xbox is kind of like version 1.1, then going by that merit alone, it should very well be possible to do. It should very well be possible. Alright. Let's not fall on the acid again. Because that's what really screwed me over last time. Trying to swim through the acid and damage boost my way through. There we go. That's better. You see, that wasn't that hard. Really. But of course, Buttershoes McGee here, aka Banjo, just loves making things so frickin' difficult. So unnecessarily difficult. Like, really, holy crap. Especially with the janky camera. There are so many reasons why I prefer the Xbox version of Banjo Kazooie over the N64 release. It's just due to the whole quality of life improvement that the 360 version of the game managed to fix up. So many quality of life improvements that it's not even funny. Seriously, screw that slug that's there. just seems like it always loves to come out of gosh diddly dang nowhere and completely ruin your face. Game? Hello? Get in there. Thank you. Holy shit. Again, not rocket science, dudes. Not that complicated. Alright, there we go. Okay, what's this? Oh, my mom was just letting me know that we're going to be having some guests over because apparently they have no electricity where they live currently. Well, that kind of does make sense just due to the fact that we did have a pretty bad snowstorm recently. And the snowstorm kind of, I think several people were, okay, I don't even know how to explain this properly. What I'm saying is, some people are without power right now, and apparently some of those people are actually coming over for a visit. If you want to know who, it's just my aunt and uncle who live up here, whom we're really close to, and we're really close to these people, and they're really close to us. Let's see, there's still the orange Jinjo and the blue Jinjo. Okay, I know where the blue Jinjo is. Right, the orange one is, okay. I'm good. For some reason I was thinking, am I missing something here? Okay. Alright, just gotta grab a few notes that are right here. No problem. That was complete utter bullshit. No way I should have been hit there. Why am I getting stuck underneath the plane? There we go. What a waste of frickin' time and energy. My god. Alright. Just got a few more things to pick up over here, and then we'll be proceeding onward to where the blue, not just where the blue Jinjo is, but where the orange one is as well. Right, I still gotta go back to the inside of the ship on a couple of places. And the reason why is because, well, I unfortunately died where I didn't need to. Crap. I did it again. Oh my god. 3 times! Just for good measure. God, I don't need to move that fast. Jeez. Okay. Alright, what I did there was I opened up the entrance to Boss Boombox. And since we don't have the egg move, we will have to do that boss fight, legitimately. So that does kind of stink, but it is something that does have to be done. if you're planning on collecting all the Jiggies that are here. And trust me, you want to grab everything. You really do. Otherwise, you're gonna be in some serious trouble if you don't. I'm just saying. Trust me. Before we go and face Boss Boombox, I'm gonna grab everything that wasn't here previously. Because this game just loves to be inconsistent as crap. And that was complete bullshit. As was that. Get on the box. Come on! Game! Quit screwing around! Okay. I definitely did not want to leave here with only 3 hits, that's for sure. Because a lot of enemies here will deal 2 units of damage. And given the fact that we have so little health to work with, that's definitely not something I really want to worry about so much. Alright. We're almost done. We've just got a few more things to grab. First off, there is this witch switch that I still need to press down. And I'm gonna see if I can press it. Or just completely miss the rope because my momentum died somehow. Maybe it wasn't wise to drop the TNT box just yet. Of course, I could have also done something else. Screw this game, man. That would have made it. That would have goddamn made it. No problem. I don't know why the game's being freaking stingy with my movement right now. Like it's robbing me of my inputs and also my movement momentum. I don't know. I always feel like I can barely make it over there. Like, just barely. Like on the very edge. Alright, let's grab these 2 here. We got the ones that are on the one switch in the middle of the engine room, which we glitched our way through, no problem. However, it is time to go and fight Boss Boombox. Let's do this thing. Normally what people like to do is just fire a couple of eggs towards Boss Boombox and just completely skip the boss fight altogether. But because of the fact that we don't have access to eggs, we can't quite take advantage of the fact that the... Okay, what? How did that hit me? Oh, that was close. What people tend to do is just fire a couple of eggs and, hello, Hershey. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it. As you can see here, we're not actually speedrunning the game today. Instead, what we're doing here is we're actually setting up the foundation of a very popular glitch that people love to use when speedrunning the game, known as Firey Furnace Moveset, aka FFM. And in order to set up FFM, we need to basically get everything we possibly can with a very limited moveset, meaning we are not allowed to use eggs or feathers at all. Granted, there are some places where we can still use flight pads, but it's not very many. It's not very many places where we can use them. And we also are working with very limited health as well, and I'm playing this on N64, so I can showcase how you do it on N64, and also go over a couple of places where you're able to do this on Xbox as well, but not so much on N64. Not so much as you would normally do on N64, aka like termite skip. You just can't do termite skip. You also can't do the witch switch skip that's located inside of the maze in Gobi's Valley. And, right. Definitely don't want to deal with that asset. And there we go. That's all 100 notes of Rusty Bucket Bay, and it can go suck it. Hard. However, we're not quite done yet. There's still 2 Jiggies left. I remembered to collect the one from a snorkel this time, which I failed to do so during my actual speedrunning attempt of the game, which that was a major embarrassment. Can't believe I forgot about that one. Okay, the only Jiggies left, or the one I can think of off the top of my head that I have left to do, is the one with the Jinjos. I still have the yellow Jinjo left to pick up. Okay, that's the last one. Never mind. Alright, false alarm. I was thinking I missed a Jiggy or something, but no. Thankfully, that's not the case. Not the case here at all. Alright, like I said, we're almost done here. We just got to grab the Jiggy that's here. Grab the last Jiggy, and then we are out of here. That's everything in Rusty Bucket Bay, pretty much. Minus the empty honeycomb pieces, of course. Which, they are not necessary for setting up FFM at all. How much time does FFM save? Well, with FFM, it does save quite a bit of time because you don't need to go to the molehills to pick up very many moves. There are only 3 moves that you would need to pick up when setting up an FFM save file. Those are the egg shooting ability as well as red feathers and gold feathers. Those are the only molehills that you need to visit. Like seriously, they're the only ones. Technically speaking, you can still do FFM even with those moves in hand, but given the fact that the bottles gives you a certain number of eggs or feathers when you learn the moves in the first place, it's a better idea to just simply accept the fact that you're going to ignore those moves and just take the extra time to learn those moves when you have the FFM save file set up completely. And when you grab those moves during your FFM run of the game, you'll be able to grab the necessary eggs as well as the feathers, and you'll be fine. You'll be able to play through the game at a more efficient pace. It's just more efficient overall to it's just more efficient to do FFM without the eggs or feathers, and then go and learn them once again. Otherwise, you would lose quite a bit of time trying to relearn all the moves again and again during your speed run, which is what I've been doing for quite some time when I've been speedrunning the game. And when setting up an FFM save file, your final goal for the run is to achieve a total of 765 nodes. I think. Was it 765? Or was it, yes, it is. 765. Once you achieve 765 notes in total for all the high note scores, or just notes in general when you are playing on the Xbox, then you'll be able to open up the final door, which grants you access to Firey Furnace Fun. So why did I do that? Alright, now, in order to open up Click Clock Wood, you need a certain number of Jiggies, and the last number of Jiggies that we need to grab are actually going to be located within Freezeezy Peak, which is going to be our next stop. And I definitely should have gone back here earlier on before heading into Mad Monster Mansion, like after Gobi's Valley was finished. But the reason why I saved it for later was because I kind of forgot about it. Let's be honest here, I just plain forgot about it. Alright. Now that that's done, now that we're here within Freezeezy Peak, our second trip here, we can now finally take on the tasks of which this level has to offer. One of those tasks is the perfect time for a water break, because oh my god, I need a frickin' drink. And here we are. I really needed that. But yeah, all the tasks that we have left to do here are just grabbing the remaining Jiggies that are in the level, including the Christmas tree one. We also need to fly through the star of the Christmas tree. And we also have to grab the Jinjos. We also have all the notes that we need to pick back up again. Pass our note score again. Because the notes we picked up before were completely invalidated and was kind of pointless. Oh, right. I can't do, I can't shoot the Christmas tree. That's right. I forgot. Can't quite do that. So really the only thing you can do is just, do the... You can do the minigame, but for whatever reason, you're not rewarded for it. So doing that minigame was completely pointless. Whoops! What a waste of time. Oh well, at least we get to see how easy it truly is. Just simply sitting there and doing nothing. And that's really all we need to do within the Christmas tree. That's it. Nothing else. Alright. now that that's done, we're just going to collect several more notes here. And then we will begin our ascent up the snowman statue once again. But before we do that, though, there is still the matter of collecting the other items that are around the legs of the base of the statue. And then we'll make our way up. There are several items you can grab here, including a couple Mumbo tokens, if you really need them. And really, you really should grab them anyway. And several notes that are around the leg. Around the legs. I said it like a singular leg. Wow. There are also several feathers that you can pick up along the way here too if you really need them. But since we are setting up an FFM run here, setting up an FFM save file, that is not necessary. The feathers are not necessary, but you can choose to pick them up anyway. Okay, I know in this level we can grab all the Jinjos in the level, which is really nice. What am I doing? I'm pretty sure I can't use the swipe pad. No, I can't. I was thinking for whatever reason that flight pad there would be one of those rare exceptions where... Oh crap. Okay. Phew. That was kind of scary. For whatever reason I was worried I was going to end up crashing into the water, taking unnecessary damage from not only the water itself being so cold, but also fall damage. And given the fact that we're working with such limited health, it's really imperative that you maintain as much health as you can. Especially when it comes to what is known as Wazoo's Cave. And the reason why is because there's a trick that we can perform using clever movement. That's really the best way I can put it. Now then, we do have a few more notes that we can pick up, but I'm pretty sure it's best to grab it as the walrus. Okay, I'm just gonna play this super safe if I possibly can. Okay, then never mind. I guess I'll be doing things a little bit more differently. Let me make sure I have everything else I need. Yes. Okay. And I'm good for health. Although the camera did kind of freak out there, and that really sucked. Oh well, that's okay. It's not like that matters all that much. And perfect. We have, this transformation requires 15 Mumbo tokens. We definitely have more than enough to, get what we need. So that's pretty nice. Alright, let's go and take care of the walrus stuff now. And really, the only things you can do as the walrus here is grab a few notes that are located underneath of the water here, just past the snowman, which you don't even need to worry about him hitting you so long as you're under here. Because for whatever reason, when the snowball hits the water, it kills all momentum of the snowball itself, and so it no longer can hurt you. Okay, 84 notes. There are a few more notes that I can grab and like, damn it. There are a few more notes I can grab somewhere. There's some over here. I know that for a fact. But what else am I missing? Crap. Right, I think it's on top of the snowman that I'm missing. Alright, let's take care of this race. It should be a simple enough procedure. If you guys remember before how I've mentioned that you can gain additional speed by jumping up the hill. Well, the trick also works on Xbox as well as N64. On all versions as far as I'm aware. I'm not so sure about version 1.1 because I actually own version 1.0 as you've probably seen earlier when I did Termite Skip. There's also another Mumbo token you can grab here during the race too if you so desire. And it might not be a bad idea to just simply go for it. Get out of my way! There we go. Whew, that was pretty close. I was getting kind of worried that he was gonna pass me and end up screwing me over big time. And wow, that was only Jiggy number 4. Well, at least we're about to pick up Jiggy number 5. And for whatever reason, it seems as though this particular dialogue box cannot be skipped in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why that is. That is so weird. But, whatever. It's, I know this game's kind of weird sometimes with, what dialogue boxes you can speed through, which ones you can't, and which ones can you skip entirely. It seems like most of them you can skip, but there are a few exceptions which you cannot skip, no matter how hard you frickin' try. I know it seems really, really dumb that's the case, but that's just the way it is. Alright. We're almost done. I know it seems like we're missing quite a large number of Jiggies when it comes to this level in particular. Well, the thing is, we're not going to be able to grab very much here. We're only going to be able to grab just a couple little things. A couple of Jiggies. There is the other race that we can do against Foggy. And we can do this as both Banjo and Kazooie, and okay. I was just making sure I had all the Jinjos up to this point. Wow, that was really good. Aster, you're not trying back there! Bite me! It was because I missed the shoes and jumped. Oh my god, are you serious, dude? Don't you dare do that to me, game. Don't you frickin' dare. Get out of my way! You son of a bitch! And there go my goddamn glasses. Fuck off, Boggy! Fuck off! I can't believe that stupid crap. All because of a couple of little itty-bitty mistakes at the very beginning really fucked me in the ass in the end. Plus, he somehow got in front of me. At the very end, I could not jump around him for the life of me because of his huge-ass goddamn hitbox. And of course that happens. happens again. Sure, let's make things even more unnecessarily complicated. Him and his stupid rubber banding AI. Wow, I think that was like the fastest boggy race I've ever done. Though granted, it did take me 2 unnecessary attempts to do it. Still, whatever. At least the frickin' task is done. Jesus, that was a pain in the ass. Alright. I'm definitely glad that's over. There we go, folks. There we frickin' go. And with that, I believe we are done here with Freezeezy Peak. Alright, that's it. Yeah, we're done. There are no other tasks of which we can complete right now. Or ever. We just can't complete them due to the fact that we lack eggs and feathers. We can't fly and fly through the Christmas tree star, and we can't hit the targets that are on the snowman, and we can't climb to the very top of the inside of the Christmas tree to grab the Jiggy that's inside. So with that, we are done. We're done with Freezeezy Peak. We've gotten everything that we possibly could. We're up to 761 nodes. So, since I managed to do everything properly up to this point, the only thing we have left to do is go inside Click Clock Wood and grab a couple of notes that are inside the level and just skedaddle. Really, it's that easy. But of course, we gotta open up the level first. And if we don't have enough Jiggies to make it inside, there is definitely another plan that I can employ when it comes to the level. Though, it is going to be a bit risky. And it's also going to be kind of complicated. Alright. Wait, what am I doing? I'm an idiot. You know what? Kill me, please. Thank you. Right, I hit the switch to activate the jigsaw puzzle back in the one room where Click Clock Wood is located. So really, that was completely unnecessary. I was thinking I would have to open it right back up, but no, I don't. Instead, we can just run all the way back to the room. Though I definitely should have activated the magic pot shortcut for sure. Oh well. Too late now. Too late to worry about that, that's for sure. Alright. Unfortunately, we will have to make quite a long trip. But if you activated the Magic Cauldron shortcut located within the underside of where Clanker's Cavern is located, and then activate the one that's just underneath the entrance of Click Clock Wood, then you'll be able to transport your way to Click Clock Wood's location. So with that, we just have enough Jiggies to open up the level. Now, if you're playing this on Xbox and you don't grab the Jiggy that was from the Witch Switch of Mad Monster Mansion, you will not have enough Jiggies to get inside Click Clock Wood, unfortunately. And so, in order to improvise the lack of Jiggies and being able to access Click Clock Wood, you would then have to do the Goby Clip within Gobi's Valley in order to grab the extra notes necessary to get inside and inside of the Sphynx. sphynx without having to open up the door legitimately. And after you grab the notes that are inside of the sphynx, then you'll have just barely enough notes to open up the final door, which leads to Firey Furnace Fun, which we will be opening up very, very shortly. And this setup can take quite a bit of time, especially if things go wrong. I wonder if there should be a category for speedrunning this game in particular, and that is FFM setup percent. No, seriously, that should be an actual category. Screw these tentacle things. Seriously, screw them. Screw them all the way to hell. Alright. So, within Click Clock Wood, we don't have to do anything here whatsoever. We don't even need to open up the door to spring. All we have to do is just grab these 4 notes here, and we will have just enough. Just enough notes to be able to get inside the final door, and thus, FFM will now become possible. So here is what you have to do at this point. Not fall off like a gosh diddly dang idiot. Open up the door. That's all you have to do. And now the fun begins. Once we get inside the portal here, which allows us access to the quiz show, the next part will begin, which is really, really simple compared to the rest of the game. So we just got to throw ourselves into the drink until we are down to 0 lives. No, seriously, this is what we have to do. Boom. Alright, now that we're at 0 lives, here's what you have to do. You have to make it to one of the timed squares on the board. Alright, hang on, what's on the front of them? 1881? That's right. So like I said, you just gotta make it to one of the timed squares on the board. See the picture? Do you know where you've been? That would be Rusty Bucket Bay. That can suck it hard. Okay. How many notes on the first note door? Okay. 50. At least they're lenient when it comes to that. That would be Nabbit the Squirrel. Nabnut the Squirrel, my mistake. Okay, that would be Bottles the Mole. Buggles. That's funny. Alright. That would be 5. Because myself included. Alright, now we made it to a timer square. Now here comes the fun part. We also have to kind of pray to the RNG gods that we can die very quickly while we're on this square. And the worst minigame you can receive is definitely the Tip Top Choir. So, here is what you do. Here's what you do. You just fail the minigame and get yourself killed while you're inside of it. And you need to do this before time runs out. On your last life. This way you can trigger the game over sequence, and upon reloading the game and reloading your data, and once you load up a new save file, make sure you hover over the file that you have done the FFM thing on, load up a new empty save file. And the next thing we have to do now that we have the glitch active, It may not seem like we have much of anything going on right now, but trust me, that's going to change as soon as we reach Mumbo's Mountain. And as you can see, I don't have Talentron right now, but like I said, that is going to change as soon as we reach Mumbo's Mountain. And what am I doing? I don't even need to worry about... I don't even need to worry about getting the other stuff, because the whole point of this whole scenario is just to set up FFM for future runs of the game. Really. That's the whole point. Alright, we're almost there. And we're almost done as well. Okay. All we have to do now is just open up Mumbo's Mountain, head inside, and you will see the magic happen right before your very eyes. Trust me, it's gonna be great. The only unfortunate thing about doing this, not necessarily because of the benefits, because they highly outweigh the negatives of the game, or the negatives of it whatsoever, is you still have to insert Jiggies one at a time in the puzzle pieces. Alright, so now that we're here, as soon as Balls finishes talking, boom! Well, you know, we have Talentron. The move is automatically learned. We don't even need to go and talk to Balls to relearn Talentron now. And we can just proceed onwards with the rest of the game and just collect whatever moves that we need to grab here. And that is the one for grabbing eggs and any moves that involve feathers. So yes, this is how FFM works. Once you reach Mumbo's Mountain, then you have all the moves from your previous save file. So that's pretty sweet. The thing is, in order to have FFM active, you do have to do the glitch again every time you delete your save data. Okay, let me go ahead and hit reset here. Trust me, there's a point in doing that. Alright. So, how it works, when you die in a minigame during Firey Furnace Fun, the moves that you have up to that point are stored in memory in the N64's RAM or something. It's really technical and really confusing, but the point is, your information that... Oops. Dang it. There go my glasses again. Damn. So the point is that your information for your previous save file is stored within the system itself, and that is stored so long as you have the console on, and when you Okay. What I'm trying to say is, so long as you do the glitch and do it properly, you will have the moves as soon as you reach Mumbo's Mountain. But in order to have those moves again for whenever you start a new game, what you have to do is just simply reload the save file that you are doing the trick on, aka FFM, and do the same exact thing again. Just die in a minigame. After you reach a timed square, timed event, can be any of the minigames. And once you reach that, then you need to KMS as soon as you begin the minigame. And upon doing so and getting a game over, you are kicked back to the file select screen, back to the title screen, and so you can then use that the moves that you had from the setup save file and essentially transfer them over to your new save file and then begin your adventure. However, if you delete that save data and then try to start the game up again, even after doing FFM, then the glitch is no longer in effect. So you will have to redo FFM again in order to get those moves and transfer them over to your new save file and begin a new run. So that, everyone, is how you set up the Firey Furnace Moveset glitch in Banjo Kazooie. The routing is essentially the same on Xbox as it is on N64, just a few variations. A couple of exceptions, one being one Jiggy that you cannot get within the sarcophagus in Grunty's lair via a witch switch. You then have to improvise by grabbing a few extra notes by doing another glitch known as Goby Clip on Xbox in order to have the notes necessary to open up the final door and reach Firey Furnace Moveset. Otherwise, you would have to find another way to get the one Mad Monster Mansion Jiggy, which I really do not know how to perform. But really, if you have the notes necessary, then there's really no need to enter Click Clock Wood whatsoever. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's basically everything you need to know about setting up Firey Furnace Moveset, aka FFM. I'm done for today. This is General Snivy with Banjo Kazooie. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you were able to attend the live stream live, thank you for attending. The next time I play this game again, I'm definitely going to be speedrunning it, but I may end up switching back to Xbox. Because of all the stress that the N64 has put me through today, and has really pissed me off, I don't think I'm ready to return to N64 fully yet. Not until I have fully mastered the game on Xbox, then I can come over to N64 and start mastering that. So, yes. That's basically how it's going to work. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all learned something here today. And I will see you all later for more live streams and more fun with Banjo Kazooie, as well as other games. See you all later.